there's segments, rays, parallel lines, and parallel planes. Is that the one that was due yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I put it in there. Thanks. So, we'll just start with the definition of a segment then. A segment is part of a line that has two endpoints. You can fill out the entire vocab or definition that I have typed up there. I'm going to underline the key parts and kind of try and shorten it up for you. So a segment, part of a line with two endpoints. That means they stop. Segments stop. They do not go on forever. So here's line AB. Goes on forever. I'm taking this portion of the line and cutting it out, and I call that segment AB. Two endpoints. The symbol for segment has no arrows on it because segments stop. They don't go on forever. Next part of a line is a ray. A ray is part of a line which has one endpoint, and then it goes on forever in some direction. A ray, part of a line with one endpoint, and then it goes on forever in some direction. When I think of a ray, I think of sun rays. It's supposed to be grass. Start at the sun, and then they go down to the earth. Sun ray has one endpoint. A ray has one endpoint, and then it goes on forever. This is an example of a ray. This is ray YX. Starts at Y, and then it goes towards X. I don't know if you can see it very well, but that symbol above it is a little tiny ray. It's got an arrow on one side. Ray YX. This would be ray EP. Okay. So your symbol will always face to the right. When you name it, you use the endpoint. So ray EP starts at E, goes towards P. Ray YX starts at Y and goes towards X. Even though it's moving left, my symbol still has to go right because the first letter is the endpoint, the second letter tells you your direction. So listen. Perfect. Okay, rays. With rays, you can have opposite rays. So if I have a ray that goes left, its opposite ray must go good. And if I have a ray that goes down, then its opposite ray must go up. Good. Too wordy. Opposite rays share an endpoint, and they always form a line. Those are the two things you have to remember about opposite rays. Share an endpoint, form a line. Share an endpoint, form a line. This says that ray RQ and ray RS are opposite rays. RQ starts at R, then it goes towards Q. So there's ray RQ. Ray RS starts at R and goes towards S. They share an endpoint, R, and they're moving in opposite directions to make a line. Opposite rays. If I look at ray RS and SR, where does ray RS start? Anybody? R, and is it going to move left or right? Okay, so it'd be like this green one here, right? How about ray SR? Where does that one start? And then it moves left, so it'd be like the purple one. Would those two rays be opposite rays? No, why not? Excellent, they don't share an endpoint. Do they form a line though if I line them up together? Yeah, they end up forming a line, we just overlap a little, but they don't share an endpoint, so they're not opposite rays. Opposite rays, share an endpoint, form a line. Share an endpoint, form a line. Share an endpoint, form a line. What do opposite rays do? Yes, you're good, nice job. Cool, parallel lines. What do we know about parallel lines? Oregon? Never intersect, we already knew that, right? We're gonna amp it up a little because you're in high school. They're coplanar lines that never intersect. Coplanar lines that never intersect. Brad, what's coplanar mean again? Regardless, points are lines that are on the same. Good, nice job. So these are lines on the same plane that don't intersect. On the ceiling, all the ceiling dividers that go north to south, front to back, are parallel lines. All the ceiling dividers that go east to west, left and right, those are parallel. They're all on the same plane. New word for us, skew lines. Skew lines are non-coplanar, non-parallel, non-intersecting lines. Non-coplanar, non-parallel, and non-intersecting. This red poster at the front of the room, pretend it's a line. So it's going on left and right forever. And the flagpole is also a line, so it's going to hit up into the ceiling and it's going back into Ebright's room. Is this red poster ever going to intersect my flagpole? Those are skew lines. Non-coplanar, non-intersecting, non-parallel. This ceiling divider that I'm walking along, kind of, and the electrical strip back here on the wall. Those are skew. They're not parallel. They won't intersect because this one's 4 feet higher than this one, but they're also not parallel. Non-coplanar, non-intersecting, non-parallel lines. The pole that holds my projector up and any of the lines on the ceiling, those are skew lines. They're not parallel, but they're not going to intersect either because they're on different planes. This pole's on a vertical plane, where those ones are all on a horizontal plane. Skew. Okay. Your little example box there. Line AB and line EF, how would you describe them? Parallel or skew? Parallel. That's the symbol for parallel. You can write the word if you want. I'm going to use the symbol. Two little parallel lines. Pretty creative. How about line AB and line CG? Parallel or skew? Skew. There's no symbol for skew. You have to write that one out. Skew lines, they don't intersect, but they're also not parallel. Next slide. Parallel planes. What do you know about them? Brad? Awesome. Write it down. Parallel planes never intersect. You can't have skew planes. Either your planes are parallel, like the ceiling and the floor, or they're going to intersect, like the ceiling and the four walls. So they're either parallel or they intersect. Excuse me. We're going to go right down to number 1. Name the segment and rays in the figure. There are 2 segments and there are 2 rays in this picture that I want you to name. Remember, segments stop. They have 2 endpoints. Rays, like a sun ray, starts at 1 point and then it goes on forever. Haley, can you find me a segment? Louder, I'm sorry. Good, segment AB. Haley, did you put a symbol over it? Oh, you better put that little segment symbol on it. Haley, do you have a second segment? Okay, can you give me a third one? There you go. Those were the ones I was looking for. AC would be one too. You put your segment symbol on that one though, right? Got a kid. Segment, stop. It's just the portion of the line. Jackson, can you give me the 2 rays? Correct. And then it goes off in one direction forever, right? So Jackson, when you say ray AB, it would have to start at A and then go towards B forever, right? Does my line keep going forever by B though? Okay, so how can you fix that? Don't start at A, but start at yes, and then go which direction? To A. See where that arrow is pointing? Okay, so we have ray BA, starts at B, goes towards A. There's another ray in here. Wilford? Good, ray BC. Make sure you put your symbols on it, because otherwise if you write BC twice, I don't know if you're talking about the segment or the ray. Peyton, would you call ray BA and BC opposite rays? Barbie, what do opposite rays have to do? Opposite rays, what do they have to do again? And, say it again. Okay, do these two rays share an endpoint? Do they form a straight line? So are they opposite rays? Good. Not opposite rays because they don't form that straight line we want. Number 2, using that prism. Part A has some mumble jumble, but down to it, it says name all the segments that are parallel to line AE. So using that prism, we have to find all the segments that are parallel to AE. That one, Ruth? I didn't hear you. Good. Don't forget your segment symbol. Trinity, do you have a different segment that's parallel? Good. Don't forget your segment symbol. Julia? Good. Don't forget your segment symbol. Ross, any other ones? Good. Those 3 segments are all parallel to AE. Second half. Some mumble jumble about skew segments. Remember, they don't intersect, they're not parallel, they're non-coplanar. We're supposed to find all the segments that are skew to AE. Now we're trying to find skew segments in this prism. They don't intersect, but they can't be parallel. Brad, you got one? HG, is that what you said? Excellent. HG is a skew segment. Grant? DC would be a skew segment. Good. Grant? CB. Sweet. Another one. Oregon? Excellent. FG. Those 4 segments will never intersect AE, nor are they parallel, so we call them skew. Questions on those 2 examples? Good. Top of the next page. Zach, planes are parallel if they what? Good. Write it down. On your own, identify a pair of parallel planes in the classroom. Remember, planes are flat surfaces. What parts of our room don't touch that are flat surfaces? Anna? Good. The ceiling and the floor. The west wall and the east wall. The south wall and the north wall. Your desktop and the ceiling. Your desktop and the floor. All parallel planes. Number 4, in this figure, we have ray CB. That one starts at C and it goes towards B. And then we have ray BC. Starts at B and goes towards C. They want to know if these are opposite rays or not. Marcel? Why not? Excellent. They don't share an endpoint. They form a line, but Barbie, they have to share that endpoint, right? Yeah. Share an endpoint, form a line. Share an endpoint, form a line. Number 5. Using the diagram, you have to find parallel segments, skew segments, and a pair of each on your own. Go ahead and do 5. Riley Jorgensen, how many endpoints does the segment have? Good. Marcel, how many endpoints does array have? Good. Zach, how many endpoints does a line have? Good. Siegfried, parallel planes, intersect or don't intersect? Good. What about parallel lines? What about skew lines? Do they intersect? But are they parallel? Good. All right. You should have enough